What are the benefits of IRMS and what are the issues involved?
What is the difference between anthropology and sociology?
As a women officer, how do you find railway as employer?
What is the method of decision making in GST Council? Is it consensus based or majority based?
What is burnout and which country are we talking about?
Please, may I come in, sirs?
Yes, come in.
Good morning to you all, sirs.
Good morning. Please be seated.
Thank you, sir.
Please give a brief introduction about yourself.
Sir, I am Bhavana. I am a native of Bengaluru, Karnataka. I did my schooling in Bishop Cotton Girls High School. Thereafter, I did my graduation in Electronics and Communication Engineering. Now, I am in Indian Railway Traffic Services. Recently, I was posted as AOM at Sholapur.
You are working as Sholapur.
Yes, sir.
As AOM.
Yes, sir.
How do you find your job as AOM?
Sir, I am starting to learn the nitty-gritties of my job. Right now, everything is going fine, sir.
Okay. Why you are not posted in the commercial branch? Why in the operating branch?
Sir, in fact, I thought that during the first 3 or 4 years of training, I would want to know the core of railway operations and how it works and how.
So it was your choice or choice of the administration to put you in the role of AOM?
So it was my choice, sir. I had requested for operations.
Okay. Indian Railways very much in the news. So issue of IRMS you must be fully aware. Now tell me, what are the benefits of IRMS and what are the issues involved?
Sir, coming to the benefits, it is in fact done to reduce the departmentalism which was prevailing in railways, and it helps to increase the decision making ability and the frequency also, sir. Then with respect to the issues, right now it's at the very nascent stage. The amalgamation has been done at the railway board level and a new examination in the form of IRMS has been introduced. It is yet to be seen how it is implemented and executed.
You must be aware that at the higher level of administration, at the level of general managers and the board members, now it is one post only, IRMS. Now you don't have a member for traffic services separately. Everyone has to compete for the post of the members, isn't it? Is it a good idea for a probationer who has been inducted through the civil services and got into the Indian Railway Traffic Service?
So I think it will in fact promote merit. So the competition at that stage is good for the organization as a whole, sir.
What are the possible reasons for train accidents on railways?
So there are two main reasons which I can identify. The primary reason is the human error and the second one is the asset failure, sir. Most of the accident, around 70% of them occur due to human error.
What the railways has been doing to avert the accidents?
So they have come up with many new initiatives. One is with the train avoidance train collision avoidance system. The other one is Kavach. Other than this, they are going for signaling improvements, track improvements, and improvements in the coaching and the locomotives, sir.
Train collision avoidance system, how does it work?
So the Kavach system, as it's known, it works on RFID sensors. So when a train senses another train or any other obstruction coming on the same track, it will in fact send a signal to brake the train. So it works on RFID sensors, sir.
What is the share of freight traffic of Indian Railways in the total overall Indian scenario?
So right now it is around 28 to 30%, sir.
What is the vision of Indian Railways?
So in the National Rail Plan, the Indian Railways plans to increase it to 45% of the total modal share.
How it will be achieved?
So there are plans like a dedicated freight corridor, wherein the entire freight lines which connect the metro cities, they will be functional on a separate track. So depending on this, and also they are planning to attract more freight customers by developing units like a business development unit at the zonal and the headquarter level, sir.
What is the concept of logistic parks?
So they are thinking of multimodal logistic parks wherein interconnectivity between a port, rail and road can be achieved so that the detention time will be reduced and it will increase the time and the punctuality of delivery, sir.
Can you give us example of any two such multimodal logistic parks created by railways?
Sir, I'm not aware about where the Gati Shakti cargo terminals have been operational yet, sir. So there are plans for it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bhavna, you belong to Bangalore urban.
Yes, sir.
What is this urban concept here?
Sir, it is the district, Bangalore urban district and Bangalore rural district. So that is how it is divided, sir.
Bhavna, if we try to compare these two areas on the basis of a concept, that is smart cities and smart village, how will you compare the two?
So smart city is where the employment opportunities are more in manufacturing and services, whereas in smart villages, the primary occupation is to do with agriculture, poultry, farming, as of these, sir.
So you can characterize whatever you have said about Bangalore.
So yes, sir, almost 70% of it matches to this. But as of now, even the rural areas are getting integrated into the urban areas. So this kind of a stark difference is reducing day by day.
Okay. So you have studied anthropology, and there is a concept, a very famous concept, pull and push factor. So do you see any kind of pull and push factor between these two areas, that is the Bangalore urban and Bangalore rural?
Sir, if I can see the pull factors for Bangalore urban, it would be the employment generation opportunities, because most of the people who are residing in the rural area, they'll have to come to the city for any kind of gainful employment. And the second aspect is with respect to the infrastructure, which is provided in a rural area. It is not that up to mark. Because even now there are not good road connectivity in many of the adjoining areas near Bangalore only, sir. So that is another push factor from the rural area and pull factor of the urban
What
area,
is the
sir.
population, respective population of both the areas?
Sir, I don't know the exact demarcation of population, but Bangalore city overall, it is said to be around 1.3 crore.
Can you recall some of the important unique features of Todas of Nilgiri?
The Todas of Nilgiri, they are a pastoral tribe, and the most unique feature is they used to follow a polyandrous system of marriage. But right now it is drastically reducing the polyandry culture they had in their tribe.
This polyandry is performed through certain ritual. Can you recall the name of that ritual?
So I am sorry, sir, I don't know the exact name of the
You
ritual.
don't remember bow and arrow ceremony?
No, sir, I do not recollect it.
Bhavna, what is the difference between anthropology and sociology?
Sir, anthropology is the study of entire human being in time and in space. So in anthropology, we study even the history, the evolution related aspects, whereas in sociology, it is more to do with human communication with his fellow beings, how the society is formed or how he is a community or a group member.
Okay. Bhavna, if we compare North India with that of South India regarding existence of caste politics, so what is your opinion about that?
Sir, I think both in North and in South India, caste is a prominent player in politics, but there might be certain differences like how it would pan out.
Something more?
Sir, right now, if going through the Karnataka elections, there are certain caste groups who are affiliated to certain political parties as such. So this takes in a very strong form, especially in politics.
Which are the important caste groups in Karnataka?
Sir, in Karnataka, there are three main caste groups which have considerable vote share. One is the Lingayat caste, the other is the Kaligas or Gaudas, and the third is the other caste like SCs and STs, and prominent among them are Kurubas.
In Western India and South India particularly, there were a number of movements against caste. Okay, but even then caste is being strengthened in present context. What is your opinion about that? Why it is perpetuated?
Sir, right now I feel that caste is acquiring new identities. So the purpose that it was serving earlier with regard to the occupation, that is delinked. At least in the urban areas, there is no perceivable caste and occupation link, whereas it forms an identity factor wherein the people in fact gain their pressure groups or any of their grievance redressal. So this is done through organizing community groups around caste. So this is how it is changing.
Last question from my side. What is sight?
I beg your pardon, sir.
SIGHT. What is the full form of sight? It is something related to green hydrogen. Now, can you recall it?
I'm sorry, sir. I have not.
Do you have any idea
noticed
about green hydrogen mission?
Yes, sir.
Tell me something about that.
So, in fact, the government is thinking of using green hydrogen as a fuel in transportation, and it also plans to increase the production of green hydrogen in India.
What is the future of green hydrogen in India?
Sir, I'm unable to recollect the exact targets that the government has set out for this particular program, sir.
And what is the future of solar energy in India?
The plan to increase it to 450 gigawatt to meet our aim towards the net zero target by 2070.
Okay, thank you, Bhavana.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, Bhavana. How are you?
Thank you, sir. I'm doing fine.
Bhavana, you are currently IRTS officer.
Yes.
Railways. How many women are there in the railway board?
So, Jaya Verma ma'am is there in the railway board.
And the board strength is usually?
It is 5, sir.
5. And how many women officers have been in the railway board so far in the history of railways?
So, I am not very sure about the statistics of women officers, so I'll surely look into it.
As a women officer, how do you find railway as employer? What are the problems with women officers face in railways? Why are they underrepresented in railway board?
So, one main thing from my experience, what I feel is that the infrastructure with respect to women officers is not that adequate, sir. Like wherein I go for field visit or anything, then there are no adequate toilets or restrooms or any kind of facilities. So this is one of the major problem. Other than that, sir, it is of course, as you said, a male heavy organization. Maybe because of the nature of its work, which is more on the field work side. So that is the reason most women don't opt for it, or they in fact tend to go into the commercial aspect of it, sir.
So, do you believe that this reorganization that's been been conducted, will it help in women representation improving, or it will be further actually be a strain on women representation in this particular organization?
So, as of now, I feel that the reorganization will help in the representation of women. Because,
why do you believe so?
Sir, I feel so because earlier during the IES, Indian Engineering Services, most of them who were inducted through IES were male.
You're a qualified engineer. Why are you saying so?
Sir, I have come from the civil services, sir.
No, but that's true. But you have done your BTech. So
Yes,
why are you
sir.
saying women are bad engineers?
No, sir, not that they are bad
Why
engineers.
they are underrepresented in Indian Engineering Services Railways?
Sir, for that, I do not have any reason, sir. But when I have seen the statistics from the past 3-4 years, there are not many women who come to the railways through the Indian Engineering Services, sir.
And you never wondered why?
Sir, I did wonder, but I did not get any convincing
You're an
reasons
anthropology
myself.
student. I mean, I'm expecting you to come something insightful. Okay, tell me, what exactly is the origin of patriarchy in terms of anthropology?
So it was due to the like women who had the birth giving role and also the caretaking role. So because of this, during the early stages, she stayed back, and men was in fact going for foraging and hunting. So she looked after the distribution of financial resources. So therein, when there was a difference in the roles, men and women, it in fact evolved into the form of patriarchy in the later stages.
And what is the origin of language?
So the origin of language, it has to do with the genetic factors also, and also with the community and the group living nature of it. There was a FOXP2 gene which was found in the brain of evolved man.
What was its function?
So its function was to recognize and interpret.
Okay. Ramana, you're coming from Bangalore, Karnataka, right? And Bangalore used to be the center for outsourcing from the entire world, actually. There was time when developed countries used to fear Bangalore. But that is no more the case. Why this service outsourcing industry is not growing anymore in Bangalore? In general, in fact, service outsourcing industry is shrinking. Why?
Sir, I feel that the service outsourcing, most of it has been automated now. So right now their focus has shifted from outsourcing to developing more indigenous or more technologies part of it, sir.
That brings me to this thing. How do you think this AI thing, the chat GPT and other AI models going to impact the service industry, which is characteristically located in Bangalore and other Indian cities? The impact of GPT on these?
Yes, sir. So one thing is it will give a shift from the normal routine works to the more thinking aspect of it, wherein the programmers will have to perform codes for the AI to be implemented. So this is a shift that is visible. The second aspect is that these routine jobs, they are no more going to attract employment as they did before, sir.
Why are you saying if there will not be any routine work, as you said, so obviously the routine work, the workers who are doing routine work right now, they'll be rendered unemployed, isn't it?
So they are going to be skilled to manage the more innovative aspects of it, sir. For the very, like a simple example, sir, the chat which we will get on when we open any web page, there is a chat box which immediately pops up. Earlier this was done by the employees, now it is automated. So now those employees would be skilled and they would move up the ladder. So it is in fact beneficial for the employees also, wherein they are skilled.
So you see no threat to employment because of AI. I mean, that's that you are being more optimistic than anybody else is.
Sir, threat to employment, especially in the routine work, will be there, sir. So that will require the industries and the government to push towards more innovative technologies and to upskill the employees who are currently doing their routine jobs.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bhavana, who is the governor of Telangana nowadays?
I'm sorry, sir, I'm not able to recollect the name. I think Mrs. Tamilisai Soundararajan is the governor.
That's correct. And there is a controversy raising. What's that controversy?
Sir, I'm not aware of the controversy, sir.
The controversy is about Governor's general power to reserve bills for consideration for indefinite period of time.
So that was with regard to the state of Tamil Nadu, sir.
So what exactly is the controversy?
So whether the governor should have a certain time period within which he should give his assent to the bills, or if it can be reserved for long.
Okay, so what is your view about it?
So here I feel that if there are certain bills which would require urgent assent by the governor, then the parliament can come out with a kind of a legislation which can mandate the governor to look into the bills within a well-defined time period. As of now, there is a grey area which exists in this particular aspect. And going by the convention, the governor usually follows the aid and advice of the chief minister and his cabinet of ministers, sir.
Okay. Many people argue that GST has severely reduced the power of state finance ministers to bring about changes in the tax structure, including the procedure. Do you think it has disempowered the state government, particularly the finance department of the state government?
So to a certain extent, yes, sir. But then the provision of the GST Council, wherein there is adequate representation of the states along with the centre, I feel that can be used in order to raise the concerns of the state governments.
So what is the method of decision making in GST Council? Is it consensus based or majority based?
So it is consensus based, sir, based on majority.
That means if, let's say, out of 28 states, 15 states agree to a proposal and remaining 13 disagree, proposal would still be taken over.
Yes, sir.
that will be completely ignoring. Maybe smaller states are agreeing to and larger states are disagreeing to. Is there any weightage given on the voting on the basis of population of states?
No, sir, I don't think there's any weightage on the percentage.
It's a
of
simple
population.
counting of number of votes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So do you think this is in the true spirit of democratic decision making?
So in that case, the parliament as a larger forum can be used if there are any serious issues with respect to the tax structure or anything that the states want to bring forth.
Okay. By the way, who is the finance minister of Karnataka nowadays?
So the portfolio is being held by the Honorable Chief Minister himself, Basavaraj Bommai.
And what was the budget proposal this year? What is the total outlay of Karnataka government?
So in fact, it was a revenue surplus budget of 740 crore. The total outlay was approximately around 3,09,000 crore or something, sir.
One of the controversial thing in Karnataka is Muzrai. Why there is a debate going around Muzrai? What is Muzrai?
So Mujrai is the state government's department to look after the temples or any other religious establishments. There was a controversy because the Karnataka government introduced a bill which in fact gave independence to the temples and the other religious establishments in the state.
So why controversy? If autonomy is given to temples, that should have been welcomed.
So the controversy was with regard to who would control the secular aspects of temples. So whether it comes under the government or whether it should be left to the religious sects alone.
Okay. And temple, Muzrai is also kind of allowance. So what is the rate? Who monitors collection and how it is used?
So I'm really sorry, sir. I'm not.
You're not very clear about
Yes,
this.
I'm not clear.
Okay.
About it.
So roughly how many temples are there which have been privatized or liberated as per the provisions of bill?
So I don't know the exact number of temples which are liberated, sir.
In Kerala and Tamil Nadu, at the position of priest, a person coming from all the different castes are qualified to be appointed. Even lower caste people, all the non-Brahmin, Brahmini caste people can apply and can get appointment. What is the position in Karnataka? Who can get appointed as priest in the temples of Karnataka?
So I don't know after the bill whether this would continue, because I feel that the administrative aspects also will go into the hands of the religious sects which are governing the temples, sir.
So are you aware any non-Brahmins have been appointed as priest in Karnataka temples?
So there are certain temples in the coastal region where hereditarily it has been with the non-Brahmin communities only, sir. And even in old Mysore region, there are prominent temples wherein the lower caste people in fact be appointed as priests there also, sir.
So in that way, the temples in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and Kerala appear to be more progressive socially. As a student of anthropology, how do you look at the temple administration in northern India with respect to employment opportunities?
So with my experience and exposure, sir, I'm not very sure about how the temple administration in North India actually works. So I'm really sorry, sir. I'll have to study this more.
Okay. So do you think across the entire country, the temple administration must be opened for all classes of citizens to create that sense of equality which is promised in the constitution?
So yes, sir, this would be a very progressive step. So in fact, I feel that God belongs to all, and so every class or every caste of citizens should be given an opportunity to be a priest in the temple, sir.
Do we have any estimate as to how much employment is available across all the religious centers, including temples and mosques and churches and all other kind of gurdwaras?
So I'm not sure about the exact number of employment opportunities that would be available, sir.
Okay. And do you think that the employment available in religious endowments is a part of unorganized employment or organized employment? Do we have any policy stand of the government?
So I'm really not sure about the policy stand of the government in regard to this, sir. But I think that the priests or anybody who is directly appointed, they would come under the organized employment.
Do you think Parliament should take initiative in this regard? Bring about it into organized structure of the economy?
Yes, sir. In fact, that would help in the growth of the economy also, and it would provide job security and protection to the people who are employed as priests or in other positions in the endowment department.
Okay. Government is actively promoting religious tourism. Which religious circuits are available in Karnataka nowadays?
So, in Karnataka, there is a pilgrimage circuit in the region of Malnad area, and then another circuit is the Hampi circuit, wherein it is said that it was the birthplace of Hanumanji, the Anjanadri Hills. So, that is being promoted as a religious circuit. Sir.
Okay. My final question. Why is Chamundeshwari temple important?
So, Chamundeshwari temple is important because it is regarded as one of the prominent Shakti Peeth, and it is also the presiding deity of the erstwhile Mysore kingdom. So, therein people in the region of South Karnataka regard Chamundeshwari goddess with devotion and faith.
Okay. Thank you, Bhavana.
Thank you, sir.
Bhavna, recently Prime Minister of a country resigned, saying that she was facing a problem of burnout. What is burnout and which country are we talking about?
So, here we are talking about New Zealand, and burnout was maybe she was not able to do justice to her professional work and to herself as such, sir.
And how much do you attribute this to gender roles that are assigned in the society?
Sir, I do not know with respect to the society of New Zealand, but in Indian society, I feel that.
But overall, have you heard of male politician resigning because of burnout?
No, sir, it is not common.
So, gender has something to do with it?
So, yes,
or gender role?
Yes, sir, gender role certainly has a prominent role to play here. So, I feel that the society expects more from women than from men, especially when it comes to balancing the roles, her professional and her personal lives. So, here.
Okay, you are also a student of anthropology. So, tell me why this Hakki Pikki tribe was in news. This is a tribe of Karnataka?
Yes, sir. They are in fact semi-nomadic tribes from Rajasthan and Gujarat, but they have a prominent presence even in the regions of Karnataka. And it was in news recently because some of the migrants of Hakki Pikki tribe, they have in fact gone to Sudan to promote the sale of their Ayurvedic products in Sudan.
Okay, so what is the issue in Sudan? Why this civil war kind of situation?
So there is a tussle going on between the RSF and the army. So there is a civil strife which is going on to have the control of Sudan.
So India is also trying to evacuate its citizens. Which operation India has launched for that?
So India has launched the Operation Kaveri.
Okay. If we talk about Taliban regime in Afghanistan, so India is still not clear whether it wants to recognize the regime or not. Okay. What is your view? What should India do?
So in this respect, we have already started the engagements with Afghanistan, and we are following a pragmatic foreign policy approach.
Suppose Taliban continues with its anti-women approach. Even in that case, because Afghanistan is very strategically important for us, should we go with our moral values that no, we should not recognize a regime which is not respecting women's rights? Or we should be more concerned with our national interests, which is more in line with recognizing Taliban and not allowing Pakistan's strategic depth in Afghanistan?
So here, going with our national interest would be the best in India's interest because it will prevent the spread out of terrorism into our territory as well, sir.
So, morality is not respected in international relations.
So, in international relations, it is the national interest which comes at the forefront of every country, and I think that is how it should be.
You are also an electronics and communication engineer. So, tell me, what is micro LED?
So, micro LEDs are semiconductor diodes which are at the micron level, sir.
And how they, like, what is different from OLEDs, if we have to differentiate? Why they are so much in demand these days?
So, micro LEDs in fact increase the resolution of the screen in which they are used.
Basic principle of their on which they are based.
So I'm not sure about on which principle they are based. So I would certainly look into this, sir.
Okay. So in Karnataka, the elections are happening, right? And it seems that a lot of wildlife is getting discussed in the political speeches. So what is the reason for that?
So wildlife, it is because of two reasons, sir. Increasing man-animal conflict in some areas where there has been a reported
I actually mean the reference to wildlife, not like wildlife per se. Like people calling somebody a snake or as poisonous as a snake. Does that come under the hate speech laws?
Sir, I feel that the personal attacks do in fact have a problem with inciting violence also. So politics should not go into the personal arena of any individual or person, sir.
Okay. Now my final question to you, and this is about the hijab controversy, and it started from Karnataka only. So the Karnataka High Court came up with a verdict, and then a Supreme Court bench of 2 judges, it gave split verdict on that. So if you have to decide, right, that whether this right to enforce a dress code of the institution is more important or the right of a student to access education is more important. So what would you choose and why?
So in this particular case of hijab, considering that it is not an essential practice of the Islamic religion, wherein it is more of a choice of a person, and second is with respect to the notion of uniform. Uniform is meant so that everybody in that particular school will forget their own religious or class or caste or any kind of such barriers and come and be as one people in the school.
So you'll go with uniform?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bhavana, tell me why railway budget was merged with the general budget?
Sir, it was merged because the outlay given, the outlay in the railway budget was in fact even lesser considering some of the main items in the general budget, sir. And secondly, it did away with the railway giving a dividend to the government. So therefore, it in fact helped to maintain the revenue with
Is it a good idea or a bad idea according to you?
So it is in fact a good idea, and it is needed to increase the capital expenditure of railway so that they can concentrate on the infrastructure development.
One final question, what do you mean by railway board?
The railway board is the main organization and the administrative head of Indian Railway, wherein coordination at the policy levels happen.
When there is a Ministry of Railways already there responsible to the Cabinet Secretariat, why there was a need for a separate railway board under the Ministry of Railways?
So with respect to this, I feel it is more to do with the planning purpose. Since railway is a very huge organization spanning across the length and breadth of India, it will help in planning purposes and also the coordination between the other ministries also, and vertical and horizontal coordination, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Bhavana. It was nice interacting with you. Your interview is over. You may go now.
Thank you so much, sir. May I come in, sir?
Yes, come in. Sit down, Bhavana.
Thank you, sir.
Bhavana, this is your second interview with the UPSC?
So this is my third interview.
Third interview. What all marks did you get in the interview earlier years?
So the first time I had got 163.
When was that?
That was in 2019, sir.
Okay.
And in 2020, I got 180.
How was your today's experience?
Sir, it was good, but I felt that I had a lot more areas which I had completely no knowledge about. Because with respect to endowment and religious...
Because it's very much in the news.
Yes, sir.
You see, the Karnataka political slugfest is already continuing there. A lot of issues are there. In that context, only oblique reference to wildlife, oblique reference to your Muzrai and all were made. So read more on the issues of endowment. That is,
yes, sir.
that is very important. So, because it's being discussed in the political circles there, that's important there. Then coming to your governor's veto issue and all that, you said that no, sir, this pertains to Tamil Nadu only, which is not factually correct. It is across Telangana and other states are there. So, point is that don't ever try to correct the board member.
I'm sorry.
You may say show your ignorance that I am not aware if you are not aware, but don't try to correct the board member. So that will be not seen in a good spirit. Okay, that is one thing which is very important. Otherwise, you are a wonderful candidate, and you have already proved your worth. You are already in the Indian Railway Traffic Service and all that. This time, when you go for the interview, expect a lot of questions pertaining to your area of work. That will be, I think, at least 5-10 questions will be on that only.
Yes.
And your area of work, IRMS is one very important. Then, because you are working as AOM, so freight traffic again becomes a very important consideration. So, what is the role of DFCCIL in that? So, DFCCIL, what is the arrangement between Ministry of Railways and DFCCIL regarding the excess charges and other issues?
So there is no clarity on that particular.
Whatever clarity is there, you should be aware of that. That's okay, isn't it?
Yes.
I understand what you are saying, but whatever is there, you should be able to know the country which has been financing this project and all that. This out of Japanese loan and all that. What is the Eastern Dedicated Freight Corridor? What is the Western Dedicated Corridor? Why so much of delay? It was to be completed in the year 13 itself. Still, it has not been completed. 6 or 7 times target dates have been extended.
Yes, sir.
So why it is happening in the Indian Railways and all that? Accident is another area. Then your Gati Shakti mission is another area. There, I think the multimodal logistic parks and all that will be there. Then experiments on PPP by Indian Railways. So some examples of PPP you should be aware.
Yes.
Why PPP is needed in the railways. And then your new concepts of semi-high-speed trains, high-speed trains, so-called bullet trains. Read more on that. What do you mean by semi-high speed? How high speed is different from semi-high speed? Whether country needs a high-speed train or not? All those things you should be, particularly the high-speed corridor which is coming up between Gujarat and Maharashtra. Broad contours of that you should be aware.
Yes.
So that will be one area of your work, and then issues related to Indian Railway Management Service. Okay. Then a question was asked in that only by one of our colleagues that how many women officers at the apex level are there. Immediately you came out with a reply, Madam Jaya Verma. She is not the only madam who is there at the apex level, isn't it? Because she happens to be from Indian Railway Traffic Service. Therefore you knew her name. There is another Madam Anjali Goyal who is working as member of finance. Today only, isn't it? So there are 2 women officers at the apex level working in the Indian Railways. So questions may be asked about the women empowerment and all that related to these 2. Because to the best of my knowledge, Jaya is the first woman officer who has been posted as now member what? What is member? It used to
member operations and business development.
Business development, wonderful. So those things you should not be found wanting. For the redesignated posts of board members and all that, you should be fully aware.
Yes.
Isn't it? Otherwise, you are already there in the IRTS. Karnataka is another area, political issues and all that. Anthro, you have already opted for Anthro, concept of dominant caste, how Lingayas and all those politics you must be fully aware. So, wish you all the best. You will do well, no doubt about
Thank
it.
you, sir.
If you have any specific, and why are you sitting cross-legged? You are sitting, when you go, make sure it doesn't happen. Okay, it has to be very formal. You can't afford to be informal anyways. Okay, so you are already there. You have to do really extra bit to get into the IAS, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
All the best to you. Do you have any specific question to ask?
Yes, sir. So with regard to the statistics, like how many women members were, or totally how many women employees?
It's difficult for you to remember all
Yes,
that. Just say I don't remember. Don't say.
So I wanted to know, is there any way that I can find
You
out?
see, if talking of the railways, the women member in the railways are only in the finance department. Anjali is the 5th or 6th women member who is working as the ex-officer secretary to the government of India. And for the first time, a traffic officer has become, a lady officer has become a traffic head. But today, when we are talking of IRMS, there is a level 16 and level 17, you must be aware by now. GMs,
Yes,
they fall in level 16 and members, they are in level 17. So the latest list which has been published by Indian Railways for empanelment of the officers for the post of general manager, not a single officer from IRAS, IRTS or IRPS is there. They are all engineers. Okay, just for your knowledge and information. So just, if you don't know, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Statistics, nobody will ask in the first place. But if at all this question is asked, it will be in the context of women empowerment only.
yes, sir. So, and with regard to IRMS also, other than the reorganization at the board level and the new examination or the amalgamation of services, there is no clarity
Why
on
are
how.
you speaking only board level? At the level of general manager also is
So
one,
yes, sir,
one
at,
service only.
at 16 and 17 level,
16
sir.
and 17.
So in between there is
It will come down.
So
Gradually it will
if
percolate.
there is any question that is asked, then I'll have to say that as of now there are no guidelines, or there is no clarity.
There is no guidelines, but IRMS is one service we know for that, because recruitment at the initial level is done through IRMS only. So tomorrow anybody joining the service will not be joining as IRTS or IRAS or IRPS, as IRMS only, isn't it? So IRMS is a reality now. It has come to stay. It has come to stay. Only questions will be asked if IRMS is there. Has the Ministry of Railways done away with the Indian engineering service, or it still continues to be there? So there is no clarity. As of now, it is not there. But what is going to happen tomorrow, nobody knows.
Yes.
Okay. All the best.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir.